Ben, right. Well, with me now is Richard Angell, who's the director of the Labour Modernising Pressure Group Progress. Thanks very much indeed for coming in to talk to us. As Ben was saying, Clause 4 is hugely symbolic. What do you make of these comments by Jeremy Corbyn?
Well, thank you for having me here today first. But I don't think anybody didn't vote for us on the 7th of May because Labour wasn't sufficiently pro-nationalisation. This is a clause that was put in the Labour Party constitution in 1918, nearly 100 years ago. It was first contested in the 50s to try and be removed and finally done in 1995. I don't think people want to go back to some of those debates. They want to look forward because it's not about changing the Labour Party rulebook, but about speaking to the public about what their concerns are and where we go forward.
If you look at what he actually said, he says, I think we should talk about what the objectives of the party are, whether that's restoring the Clause 4 as it was originally written or it's a different one, but we shouldn't shy away from public participation, public investment, public control of the railway. So he's not actually saying he's going to bring it back, is he?
But this is key. This is the mission statement of the Labour Party. And what you do in mission statement is say the kind of country you want to build. For the people out there, not the people within the camp already. And what you shouldn't put into a mission statement is individual policies about how. The public want to know those big ways to get there. But what Jeremy Corbyn is committed to do is the solutions of the 80s and the past. And we can't put those into the rule, but they didn't work in the 80s. In fact, they were rejected then. But we can't put those back into the rule book now. What we have to say is we're about making a more fair and equitable country, and that's what's currently in Clause 4.
But he's not the only person who's talking about public ownership. I mean, Andy Burnham's talking about renationalising the railways. Jeremy Corbyn has opened up a really significant debate here that we haven't seen for an awfully long time, opening up areas of possible policy that we haven't seen on the agenda for decades in the Labour Party.
Nationalisation was used by the last government when it was right for Northern Rock and other organisations. In fact, we did it with parts of the rail network then to bring Network Rail under public ownership. That's the point. When it's right, of course we should use it, and it should be open to us along a whole series of policy answers to approach. You don't put one policy answer into your rule book as a kind of article of faith. You know, we had the tombstone at the last election, which didn't work for us. You don't write these things down forever. You write value statements. You write the country you want to build. You write the big vision. You don't write the particulars, because the particulars take you backwards and anchor you.
Jeremy Corbyn clearly is generating some excitement, some enthusiasm, and some new members, many of whom are perfectly legitimate, some who may not be. But although he's enthusing one section of the party, he is absolutely horrifying others. What do you think would be the implications if Jeremy Corbyn were to win?
Well, I think the sad thing is it's not just going to be writing off the 2020 election, but us out for a while. This is a symbol that we would be turning in on ourselves, looking about what we care about, not what the public out there cared about. You know, 11.3 million people voted Tory, and we were 2 million short of that. We've got to go and convince those people that weren't the very needy at the very bottom and didn't just hate the greedy at the very top. We've got to go and get the wide swathe of British society to support Labour's aims and its values and believe that if they trust us, you've got somebody in charge who can use a calculator that will use their money well and that cares about their kids having a good school to go to, the NHS being there when they need it, and an easier and quicker way to get to work.
OK, Richard Angell from Progress, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.